Hello there. Welcome to this session on transformational customer experiences with SaaS. I hope you're enjoying Pimcore Inspire so far. My name is Andy Powell, and I am with the Saas Factory, a team within the Amazon Partner Network that focuses on helping ISVs transition to SaaS. And today we're going to look at how that transition affects and can be affected by the user experience. So first of all, let's talk about what is the Saas Factory and how we can help you. Saas Factory is a team that is focused on providing not just technical, but business guidance as well around best practices for your business at any stage of your SaaS journey. We work with organizations that are new to SaaS, organizations that have an existing SaaS offering, or organizations that are looking to build the business case for SaaS. All of this works together and really helps to address the need and the challenges moving to SaaS. The Saas Factory program provides prescriptive business and technical guidance and best practices for businesses across different industries, regions, segments, and sizes. Saas Factory content, best practices, and point of view material addresses these and other topics which often arise in a move to SaaS on AWS. These topics are representative of engagement themes and topics we address in our depth engagements, as well as our published content, and align to what we have found are common areas of interest from AWS partners adopting SaaS. It's important to get teams aligned on the business areas such as product roadmap, packaging and pricing constructs, along with the technology elements of a SaaS transformation, which includes SaaS architectures and AWS partner service selections. One area that we really focus on with the partners is to define an MVP and work towards the launch of that MVP along the way, deep dive into SaaS architectures and integrations with other solutions. Several partners need help to align the sales compensation model and need a new marketing approach to engage their end customers. While guiding them through best practices on these, we also open up the AWS Marketplace as a channel for go-to-market. SaaS requires a different mindset, moving from transactional approach to a service-oriented mindset, and this is going to be important. This means rethinking your customer success and your organization structure as well. All the guidance that we provide helps partners transform their business, develop an MVP, and structure their organization to align to a SaaS model. Partners get the benefit of accelerated time to market and greater efficiency on AWS. So why are organizations moving to SaaS? There's 4 key drivers of this move. 1, growth. They are looking to move into a new segment or expand existing markets to grow their business. Agility. SaaS offers you the ability to accelerate your innovation, reduce your customers' time to value, and gives you flexibility about how you operate, run, deploy, and manage your service. Cost optimization is the third one we typically see. And this is really focused around reducing serving costs, improving our operational efficiencies, and making sure that we are consistently optimizing as the business scales to the next level. Fourth, we see business value as a real driver for this. A lot of times we see organizations that are traditional on-premises ISVs selling licensed software, wanting to make the transition to SaaS. And this transition is because they're looking to move from a licensing model to a recurring revenue model. And this is important because it gives greater predictability when you are looking at changing this business model. So being able to really deliver value and have that predictability in business models, it goes a long way. Now, we see SaaS as a total organizational transformation. We're not just creating a new software offering or a new line item for the sales team to sell or a new SKU. No, we're changing the entire organization. We're not just changing software, we're changing how you operate that software. Traditionally, you're going from an on-premises offering where you don't have to operate it, you just have to support it. It changes the way we develop. A lot of times, this transition is used as an opportunity to adopt a more agile DevOps mindset. So that's a real driver towards this. It changes how we sell and how we market. Selling licenses is inherently different than selling recurring subscriptions. Marketing this is inherently different. You might move towards a freemium model. You might move towards a new audience that you want to reach. Next, we want to look at customer service because we're moving from a model where we may not necessarily need to be a support organization that operates around the clock to a offering that is now live 24/7 and needs to be serviced 24/7. So it's really important that we are able to modify how customer service works and possibly even staffed to make this transformation to SaaS. Now, the one space we see that organizations don't typically have in place is customer success. Customer success is the organization that is going to be responsible for renewals, for upsell, and for reducing customer churn. Oftentimes, this is not an organization that these ISVs moving to SaaS have in place. So that's a muscle that needs to be learned by these organizations as they move to SaaS. And lastly, the last key area we see that this transition touches is finance. Now, it might be a little counterintuitive or might not make sense at first, but this move towards changing finance happens because we're changing things like cash flow. We're changing how revenue comes into the organization. And so that's oftentimes a big challenge. So what we're really changing here is the customer experience that your customers have. We're changing the way you do business. Inherently, we're changing the way that your customers interact with you as a business. What we're looking at is a change in the sales cycle, a change in the way that your users consume your software, and a different way that you engage with them. We might be accelerating the sales cycle. We might be going to, like we said earlier, a 24/7 on-demand model. And we might be moving to a model where you're actually engaged with your customers more, getting feedback and helping that to drive the roadmap. So all of this leads us to needing this enhanced experience, needing this new evolution of our experience. And what is the value of that? We can talk about needing to change the experience, but if we don't understand what the value of it is, then we're really not getting the point of the transition. And so this is a quote that I'd like to pull out to see the inherent value and help illustrate the point here. We live in a world saturated by products and services that vie for our attention, and the experience, the way in which a story is unfolded, will be the difference between a company's success and failure. Now, that emphasis on story is something that we're going to come back to in a minute because it's really important, especially as we're looking to evolve the UX of our offering. We're going to actually look at what is the story that we're trying to tell. Now, as we're enhancing the customer experience, inherently we have the opportunity to evolve the user experience. Whereas we may be traditionally an installed offering on desktops, what we have the ability to do during this evolution is explore new channels. Typically, SaaS offerings are delivered over the web in a browser, but there can also be opportunities for consumption across mobile and even new voice experiences like Alexa. So as we make this transition to SaaS, we open up new avenues to explore our user experience and really evolve it to make it ideal and optimal for how our customers want to consume our software. Now, a key thing to note is the distinction between look and feel and UX design. A lot of times when folks talk UX, they're talking about just changing the colors and the fonts and rounded corners, but that's not what we're talking about with UX design. We're talking about looking at the entire application and how your customers interact with it. Now, this is important because we are going to be changing some crucial parts of our application, and it's going to present us opportunities. So this is important because this matters greatly. The user experience is vital to your offering because it helps you to earn trust with your customers. It allows you to actually define the journey that your customer goes on as they use your software. It gives us the ability to make sure that we have consistency throughout all parts of our application. If we are following the same experience design throughout the entire application, it's going to work one way in our order page, let's say, as it does in our checkout page. It's going to be a consistent experience. And the user experience is really an essential piece of the customer experience. This is how your users consume your software. This is how they interact with it. And most importantly, the user experience tells a story. Now, the story is important because it helps us achieve a lot of goals that we're looking at in terms of engaging with our customers. And we come at this from the perspective that we are all storytellers. And stories can come in different forms and mediums. They can be visual, they can be auditory, they can be books, they can be applications, they can be how you interact with your devices in your house. All of these are stories that are being told. And stories are really important because they help us make sense of the world. They help us to remember and imagine. They help us to engage. And stories are a vital tool to help us really solve problems and try different solutions. They engage us and pull us in. And really at their core, they help us understand each other. So storytelling is crucial to evolving the experience of your SaaS application. So what's the value of investing in storytelling? If we tell the right story to the wrong people, or we're going to tell the right story, but we're not telling it in the right way, then we're putting our business at risk. And looking at the way design and technology converge really helps us to get ahead of the competition and engage in that experience economy. So now we're not necessarily selling software, we're selling the experience. So how do we tell a story with our SaaS offering? Let's look at the crucial elements of a story. And then we'll translate them to our SaaS offering, our software world. First, we have the lead character. Who is going to drive the story? Their ambition. What are they trying to achieve? Their conflict. What's the problem that they're trying to solve? And what's the resolution that we're looking for? This translates to looking at, our lead character is our user. The ambition are the goals they're trying to achieve with the software. The conflict is the problem that we're trying to solve. And the resolution are our desired outcomes. Now, typically as technologists, we have a very direct perspective on this, on how to tell this story. We have a problem and we find a solution. Now, this directness doesn't always work in a storytelling mode because there's other factors to consider. When we're telling a story, we want to start with the persona. Who are we building for? Then we get into the problem they're having. And then we can look at the strategy, the objective, the features, and that leads us into the solution. If we want to break this down into questions, it looks like this. Who has the problem? What's the problem we're trying to solve? How will we solve it? What does the solution achieve? What features are required to accomplish this? And what will it look like and how will it function in the end when it's delivered? So all of these are crucial to defining the stories that we're trying to tell. Now, when we translate this to SaaS, it looks something like this. This is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to reduce customer churn. We're trying to increase our user speed. We definitely want to eliminate frustration, and we want to make sure that we're engaging our users. So we can do this with storytelling. And this really is illustrated in achieving a few specific things. If we simplify registration, we clarify onboarding, we streamline our information architecture, and we engage and inform with dashboards, we're able to really achieve those items. That helps us to reduce churn. That helps us to increase speed and reduce time to value for our users. It allows us to reduce that frustration in using the software. And it allows us to really engage and bring the users back. Because at the end of the day, stories trigger emotion, and emotion triggers action. So that's our end goal here. Other SaaS considerations that we want to think about for our user experience is when we're designing our experience, how does that change when, say, a subscription changes? Or if we turn a feature flag on or off? Or if we have a user that wants to change tiers from, say, like silver or gold to platinum? Or if something in the billing changes, does that affect our experience? And metering, if we have a specific number of users or a specific number of requests, how does the experience change once we've met those? These are all really important items to consider when we're designing the experience for our SaaS offering. So my challenge to you is to take this and make it happen, make it work. Invest in that experience design. Make sure that you are putting it front and center of your transformation journey. And make sure that you're adopting not just design thinking, which is a shortcut some people often think here, but you're adopting some of these UX best practices that UX practitioners espouse. This will help you to make sure that you are achieving those goals of reducing churn, eliminating frustration, engaging your users. And most importantly, this is one of the key drivers at Amazon. Put the user at the center of every decision you make. If you look at the story you're telling with your user as the lead character and ask, how does this move the story along? Then you generally are on the right track. If you put the user at the center of all these decisions that you're making, then you're setting yourself up for success. So these three calls to action are the first step to start you on this journey. I want to thank you for listening to this session, and I hope you enjoy this and all the other sessions on offer at Pimcore Inspire. Have a great day.